What's happening, Andy here? I'm joined today by Anthony Sci of Keypoint Intelligence. Good morning, Anthony. How are you?
Good morning, Andy. All well. How are you doing?
Awesome. I am very well. It's kind of a drizzly, rainy fall day. We had a great weekend here in upstate New York. The leaves are perfect. How's everything down there in Jersey?
Same. We had almost 70 degrees this weekend, and fall is here. It's absolutely beautiful weather here.
Yeah, we were doing the leaf thing.
Same.
Yep. Foliage, all that stuff. So it's a pretty time to be flying around the country. I'm getting some good views. I just came back from a couple of trips. You guys have been busy. That's why I wanted to have you on and catch up with you. I haven't seen you in a little bit. But you guys have done some acquisitions. You've an acquisition. You've got a new partnership. Before we get into all that, let's give it, maybe for the couple of viewers who may not know who Keypoint Intelligence is. You're the CEO. Tell us who's Keypoint Intelligence.
So Keypoint Intelligence is a technology company. So two companies came together a couple of years ago, Buyers Lab and InfoTrends. So Buyers Lab, everyone knows us from BLIQ. We do testing in our labs for A3 and A4 products, of course, production in wide format too. And then we also have the InfoTrends side, and that was all advisory services, which was great for us, and the customers love that consulting business we have. And then we've also entered into our data. We've started an e-commerce platform last year. So those are like the 5 areas that we focus on as a company.
So the big ones that, everybody knows you for in our world are obviously, I used them back in the day, the spec checks, the guides, everyone, I probably still have one in the trunk of my car. Right. But those side-by-side comparisons, which is all online now. And then that acquisition you did a while ago, which I think people forget, there was another company out there that was tracking unit shipments, placements, all that stuff. And that's what you guys do now too. So you're a think tank, you're a testing facility, and you've grown it. So the e-commerce, as you mentioned, and you're continuing to grow it, right? Which is why we're talking today. I thought it was a great time to catch up because you guys have been super busy. We'll talk about a partnership that you have. And before we get into that, we'll start with the first one. You acquired a company in September called Karstedt Partners, LLC. They're out of New York. Tell us about Karstedt and why did you guys acquire them?
So Karstedt Partners has 25 years expertise in the packaging and labeling industry. And for us, our clients were asking for more information in that arena. It's a growth industry for our clients, and it just seemed like it was the perfect partnership for us to strengthen our offering and give them more scope. So they have access to our clients, marketing, and it has been so far so good. We introduced the acquisition at Label Expo, and between their clients and our clients, it was overwhelmingly positive response. So it's really nice. I think that for us, we are trying to get into true growth areas. I think this is a growth area for our clients. And for me, I'm very excited what we have to offer our clients moving forward with the acquisition.
Well, it's an exciting area, right? I mean, that is, we run all the press releases for the OEMs and labeling and packaging is one that is just explosive, both from the software side, from the hardware side, everything from, presses that are probably over $1 million in cost, but by the time you get done with the accessories and everything you put on them, the software, the workflows, and then all the way down to these, little label printers, right? So it's a huge gamut. You're well known in obviously the testing of office equipment. You've brought in expertise over the years to really solidify yourselves as one of the only places you can really go to get production equipment certified and tested, security, all sorts of good stuff you do on that. So this is sort of, to me, a natural growth area. And it couldn't come at a better time, right? Label Expo is when you announced it, and we've got another printing show coming up. Printing United is coming up right around the corner. How are you guys set for that show? Is this going to play into it? Are you sending anybody? What are your thoughts on the next big production print show, packaging show?
I have to say, just in general, after years of COVID, it's so nice to be face-to-face back at shows. So it really is nice.
I agree.
for us with this coverage, we have 12 people covering the shows from our analysts and salespeople. I think it's an important element. We have over 60 meetings booked already with different clients to talk about how we can help them. So for us, it's an investment to learn what's important for our customers. We go in with two really asks. What's the customer's initiatives for 2023? And more importantly, how can we help you succeed in 2023? What are you looking for from Keypoint? So those meetings I take very seriously. I go on a lot of them myself, and hearing the voice of the customer always, I think, is the best way to run your business.
So amazing, 12 people. That's I know there's probably not a lot of companies that can send 12 people in my world, in our world, right? So it's going to be product people, I'm guessing. It's going to be some of the analysts, I would think, some of the numbers people, the numbers nerds, or whatever we would call them, right? We're the toner nerds, and they're the smart guys, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart people, I should say. So amazing, 12 people. It's quite an investment you guys are making. I wouldn't want to see the travel budget on that one, unless I don't know. Maybe
either do I. But I think
you get maybe a bus.
Yeah, exactly. I think the key thing there, though, is to show people that we're entrenched in it, right? It's important to us. And I think by showing that investment, people like to see that, right? And going back into your point with the numbers, right? Our forecasts are important. Our trackers are important to clients. So having this information and getting a wide variety of information from different people, I think, is really important for our output to our clients.
I think so too. I think, there's not a lot of companies that to provide this kind of data to the OEMs anymore, to the industry in general. We've lost a couple of the analytical companies over the years. Our company included used to do a lot of research. We don't do that anymore. We're doing this and interviewing people like you. So there's a void, right? And there is a need for that. And we used to we all talk about using data to help manage our companies, right? And this is a place where you get the data. I think maybe down the road we bring Randy on the show, and we spend some time talking to him and maybe some of your other people in that group, and talk about the numbers that you guys have and some of the trends that you're seeing, because I think that could be a whole nother segment on its own. I don't want to take time away from the acquisition, and then I think this is a good time to segue into the partnership, right? So last week you announced a new partnership. It was with a company called ACS, not the ACS that came and went in our industry several years ago. For those of you who remember, this is a cybersecurity company. It's an agile cybersecurity solutions. They are your newest partner. So why don't you talk about that? It's very different than the packaging that we were discussing before. So who are they and what's this about?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. So Agile has been in business for 10 years, and they're a true security expert company. So that's important, right? It's not a knock, but they run a SOC, right? So a security operations center. It's run by a lot of ex-military people. So a lot of DoD certifications, CIA certifications, different things like that. So they're unique experts. And for me, I love cybersecurity and what it brings to a growth industry, but also it offers clients safety and protection. So for us, the main reason I looked at it was that it gives us the capability in our labs now to test any IoT product. So now, instead of just A3 and A4 in production and wide format, the beginning of this year, we actually did testing. A company asked us to do testing on security cameras. So, and we were both at Kyocera Reimagine that we did the security testing for their new system. So I think for us, the strength in that offering was really important. And also it has given us the opportunity to expand outside of just truly print. In fact, one company since the announcement has talked to us about testing robotics. And that is something that is a real interesting look for us, that our labs have the capability and we have the expertise in a lot of different areas now to test more than just A3 and A4. A3 and A4 is our foundation, always will be. That will never, ever change. But to get some other areas, exciting growth areas for us, to me, that's what I think this is all about with this acquisition.
It's exciting. Moving into these other areas, having to say no to testing equipment and just out of the gate, we share a client list in many respects, right? And these guys do a lot of things outside of, like, to your point, the printer and copier world. So that just really it opens things up for you tremendously. What kind of testing is this? What is it? Is it hacking? Is it finding vulnerabilities? Is it what is it? Why don't you?
Yeah, so I think the main thing is it's called Ven and pen testing. So vulnerability testing, pen testing is really what they do. And they do it two ways. So you can do it automatically, right, through computers, that way. But also then it's individuals trying to hack your system.
Yeah.
Which is really a unique way of looking at it. And because of their expertise, and especially the military expertise, they look at things, in my opinion, that a lot of other companies might not. So that gives me the feeling of security that every possible way was looked at. And it's very exciting to have a 10-year-old company that's been doing this and actually works with another OEM already coming into the fold. So for them, they get the ability to talk to different dealers that they don't have today to talk about their products. So Ven pen testing, they do assessments, right? One other area that's really important, a lot of the dealers themselves, besides their clients, have cybersecurity insurance. Cybersecurity insurance is very expensive today.
Yes.
So looking at, do I have the best insurance? Do I have the right coverage? Can I do other things to get my costs down from a protection area is really important. So they offer those services besides the SOC, which I think is really important for any customer today. Yeah. And I will say one other thing that's really, this intrigues me. They offer CISOs, which is virtual chief security officers. So for small, mid-sized company, a chief security officer costs between $250,000 and $300,000
a year.
This service a year, right? So this service, they give 120 hours of time. You can use it anywhere and have that expertise for a small, mid-sized business. So that has been, for me, one of the exciting things to go and offer our clients.
So this is something that you were able to offer even down to the dealers, right? This doesn't sound like just a strictly I thought when I initially read the announcement that this was just going to be an added layer of testing to that security suite that you already had. So
right.
Which it is, right? So
yep.
It's testing deeper, it's adding a hacking element. But now there's also this, was it a premium service or another service that you're offering to your clients, and also resellers, dealers, SMBs who can't afford their own executive level I guess IT expertise, right? And then you're sort of making it available. It's sort of an outsourcing program for them, and right. that's pretty cool. So dealers sign up with you. This is an annual program. How does that work?
Yep. So the dealers can sign up with us, right? So gone out to our dealer network, just started because the announcement.
Yeah, last week.
The strategic partnership just happened. So I think it's an interesting element for me to just say a lot of the dealers have parts of this. We're not looking to intrude on any of their business, but if there's any services that they don't have that they would like to, this is an avenue that they could look at. So I'm very excited. The initial feedback from dealers have been very, very positive. We've tested this and talked to probably about 10 dealers already. So it's something that I think, especially with the CISO and having the opportunity to do more Ven pen testing, because the key with Ven pen testing is not to go to the same company all the time. right?
Yeah.
You want to test your systems with different companies to make sure you're looking at different areas of opportunity for hackers. So you want to definitely make sure that you have different companies to do that with.
Well, very exciting. Before we leave that part where you're at the dealer outsourcing segment of that, is there a sweet spot? Is there a dealer size, up to 50 people you're finding where this might fit, or you're probably so new into this you haven't gotten that far, but is it maybe a dealer size, dealers that are 5 to 10 million or 10 to 20 million?
Yeah, I think anywhere probably 20 million and under, right? Because people over that. Now, of course, that's a broad brush and there's exceptions to everything. But I do think that having the ability to offer that expertise of a chief security officer virtually that companies can't afford today, right? And giving them the opportunity to have those hours spread out any way that they want, to just talk to them to make sure their systems are right, any kind of remediation that they need. All of those things are really important. And I think finding the intellectual property of a company like ACS that has that is very difficult today also. So finding and partnering with someone who has that type of expertise is really important.
Well, it really saves a lot of effort on your end of trying to find somebody, staff them, keep them on board, and then you're trusting them to make sure that they're certified, that they're capable of doing what they tell you. Versus here's a company that's been in business for 10 years, that's got quite a client list as I look at it. Companies, U.S. Postal Service, GM. You alluded to one in our industry already. I'll mention them, Canon Solutions. I saw on their list. So they've already got credibility in our world. From a very, very, big company in our industry. So, and now they're part of your portfolio, I guess is how we'll phrase it, right? It's part of your offering, and you've just added a ton of new services and programs since you've been there. It's only been a little over a year now. How long have you been there now?
Yeah, since last July, so a little over a year. Yeah, we're excited to enter into new arenas, right? That's important to us. The IoT testing thing is a huge opportunity for us. We get into robotics and different things like that for testing. It's exciting.
It is.
So that is where we are looking to go as a company with true growth industries.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a long way from standing in front of a copier with a stopwatch like I did when we ran our competing test lab that is no longer around. So, yeah, it's a different world now, and you really, sometimes you have to look at it and say, look, we can try to do this on our. It's no different than what our customers are doing with managed services, where you can do it on your own, or you can bring the expertise in, and when you've got a potential partner sitting out there that's credible, recognized, and already working with companies in our industry, as well as some Fortune 500 companies. That's a good partner to bring on board. That gets people's attention, and I think it takes you guys up a level. So congrats to the partnership. Congratulations on the acquisition. And anything you want to wrap up with? I think we had a pretty good show here today.
No, thank you, number one, for your time. I really always love being on and just talking to you about what's going on. For us, I'll just end with this. We have some really nice partnerships with vendors and manufacturers and leasing partners. We're coming up with a 2-part webinar series about e-commerce and talking to some of our clients with e-commerce. That was a new offering that we had. So in December, we're going to do one. We're going to talk about it at ECS, which has become a big, huge event.
I will see you there. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
see that presentation.
Yep. So that will be great. Mike is looking at this year 250 to 300 people there.
This is going to be a big one.
25 dealers, so a lot. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about packaging and labeling. So I think just education of what we do, because people pigeonhole us into.
Well, that's the thing.
This is, hey, they're the testing lab or the BLI.
I mentioned the book. That's what people think of you as. Half the industry is still my age or older, and they think of the book, and that's like I joked, it's probably still in their car, right? So the spec guide, the spec check, but
exactly.
that's only a little bit of what you do now.
Yeah, I grew up using that, right?
Me
So
too.
when I was a copier guy in New York City, that's the
Yep.
book that I used. But we are so much more, to your point, right? And we keep growing and expanding. So I think that's really important. And in fact, we're going to IT Nation, ConnectWise's huge show in November. So I think people will be surprised of where we are, right? It's our branding, I think, for us is the number one thing to get out there, and our offering, so people understand exactly who we are today versus who we are years ago.
So Keypoint Intelligence, not just a spec guide anymore.
There you go. I might coin that. So that's great, Andy. Thank you.
So I will see your team all over in the next few weeks. I know I've got a couple trips out to California. I'm sure I'll see them there. You guys are going to be at Printing United. And then at the very latest, if I don't see you at the upcoming shows, I will see you in the desert at Executive Connections Summit. And I look forward to those presentations. Any dealers that want to go to that, you can get in touch with Mike Stramalio. You can get in touch with me or Anthony. We can point you in the right direction. It's a great couple of days. You'll hear a lot of really good information from not just Keypoint, but a lot of great speakers. So just a really fun couple of days with just some great people in this industry at all levels. So very high levels, actually. So I'll see you there.
That sounds great. Looking forward to it.
All
Have
right,
a great
Anthony.
day, Andy. Thanks
Have a
again.
great week. Take care. Thank you.
Bye now.